Hello, and welcome back. You've made it to the last week. Well done, congratulations. This week, we're going for consolidation. So we're going to introduce some new elements in there, just some stretching to go along with the exercises. And the reason why we're doing that is we're looking for increase in muscle length for some of these muscles, just to help with that stability and that alignment. So we're going to start off with standing, and we're going to start off with a favorite exercise of mine. It's roll down. So we start off, I'm just showing you side on, and what this is a nice sequential movement from top of the head through to the hips. And what I want you to think about with the principles, particularly slow. Slow, because what we want is the vertebrae to open right up. So bring your hands to the side, and I want you just to nod that head forward, a little bit like you're doing a curl up. Don't drop the chin all the way to the chest, and then slowly open the vertebrae, working slowly down the back, curling through, hollow into that stomach. So pull that belly button in, just soften those knees a little bit. And when you're at this point, you've probably got as much curve through that back as you can. From this point, just relaxing the shoulders. I want you to start to flex at the hips with those soft knees and come down as far towards that floor as you can. You'll be feeling a bit of a stretch up the back. Hopefully, a bit of a stretch in the lower back as well. From here, breathe in. As you exhale, push out through the heels and unflex. At this point, we can start to press through the stomach again and realign that spine up until the point that you're standing nice and straight. Don't lift the ribs too high, so we want to keep that tension, the ribs down flat to the stomach, and we want our chin to come level. Let's do that again. Breathing in to prepare. Exhale. Nice and slowly start to open that spine. Don't rock back on your heels. Open up through the lower back. Pull the belly button to the spine. When you can go no further, now you can start to flex at the hips and bring yourself all the way down. Breathe in here. Exhale. Press out through the heels and flex back. Really feel that stretch maintained in the lower back until you start to unfurl it. And let's do this again. And flex. And back. And let's do two more of these. Now with the breathing, you'll notice there's more space in front as the lungs are empty. And that helps your spinal flexion. It's also a point of greater subversion when you're coming back up level. So that's the roll down. Let's bring ourselves down onto the mat and let's work our way into this week 6 program. So we're going to do some mermaids. We want one foot up to the side and the other foot with the shin in front. Again, we're going to start off with our usual arms out to the side. I want you to take a breath in to prepare and then exhale, come over to the side, reaching through the fingers nice and slow to open that vertebrae. Breathe in there, exhale, restack the spine, pulling that hip down to the floor. And then on the next exhale, coming over, really reaching through the fingers. Get a nice stretch through that side, but just be conscious of muscles engaging that are moving your spine. Really start to think about position of your rib cage. Lifting through to get a side bend on this side, and then straightening that rib cage so the neck is nice and straight in the seated position. And then reaching up through and back. And then bring the arms down. I want you to start to place your hands in front. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, push those hands away and bring the rib cage over the knee, the elbows down to the floor if you can, just so you're getting a nice stretch underneath the thigh. And I want you to hold that there. So this is one of the stretches that I've told you about that we're just going to introduce this week, just so that as we're in a position, we take advantage of that position to lengthen some of the other muscles. And let's exhale to bring ourselves back. And you're going to come a little bit further back and just get the stretch right in front of the other leg here. And then bring yourself back. Let's come onto the other side. Arms out and stretching over. Opening up that vertebrae. And just aligning that rib cage so the neck is nice and tall. And then let's bring our arms back. Let's start with the stretch through the front of the thigh on the side. Just bring yourself a little bit further back each time. Make sure that foot doesn't slip out to the side. And then bringing yourself forward, placing the hands in front of you, and then just pushing away, bringing the elbows down if you can, rib cage down, to stretch out underneath that hip. And then let's come back to center. So we spent a lot of time in sitting on this program. Last week we had a whole video devoted to it, so you should be ready and prepared for this. What we're going to be doing is that spine stretch forward movement. Palms are facing down and stretched forward. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, nod the chin to the chest, soften the rib cage and pull the belly button to the spine, stretching forward through the fingers and then hinging at the hips. And I want you to hold this for a little bit longer. And then just press a little bit forward. And then restep through. So we're doing the movement, but we're putting a stretch in the middle of it. And make sure that spine is nice and tall as you come back, chin is level. And let's go again. And then let's bring the arms back. And we're just going to stretch the spine the other way, just lifting the rib cage and pressing through the heels to bring the hips up. And bringing yourself down. So, turning over, we're going to do the same thing with cat, just add a little bit more stretch. So we start off the same, taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, tuck that pelvis underneath, rolling it around the hip joints, sending the tailbone down towards the mat, letting that come up the spine, opening each vertebrae, nice and slow. Come through the shoulder blades and then end with the head. So holding that cat, I want you to rock back on your knees. Really bring that belly button, scoot through the stomach and start to feel that stretch through the lower back as you rock back. And hold that biting point just where you feel the stretch. And then come back. And then back to the middle. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Into the cat. And rock back. Come back. And to the middle. And let's go straight into thread the needle. So my left hand's going to come behind my right hand, bending at the elbow and hinging at the hips. I'm going to rotate the spine to send that away, but rather than just whipping it back straight away, I want you to press down on the outside of the shoulder. And we get a nice stretch there as well. Keep the back nice and straight, rotate and bring that out and up, and just press the fingers up here as well. And let's come back. So let's go to the other side. Right hand behind left. And just hold. And bring it back and press those fingers up. And back. And let's do that on each side a few times. And down to the other side. And let's come down onto the front. And we'll go into Cobra. So, Cobra is pretty much inherently a bit of a stretch, but with a bit of control. So, as we normally do, breathing in to prepare. This time, we're going to move on the exhale rather than inhale. So, exhale gives us a bit more room to move, lifting up and through. And here, what I want you to do is actually start to play with the shoulder blades. So just try and drag the shoulder blades down the back, and you'll feel a little bit of a lift forward with the rib cage, and then relax them. Just drag them down again, and relax, and come back down. So it's very much a stretch through the upper part of the thoracic spine. Inhale, exhale, just bring those shoulder blades down. And come back down. And again. And then we're just going to roll over, come onto our heels, and just want you to bring the arms forward and curl out the back. Push those shoulders forward, just feel a widening through the back of the shoulders. And from here, we're going to come into that C curve. And let's go back into the stretch. Really widen through the back of the shoulders. And this time, make sure that belly button, that stomach is scooping and holding. And moving on the exhale. And let's come onto the sides. So I want your legs in a chair position, on your elbow or on your ear, whichever is comfortable. So shoulder on ear is this position. And we're just going to lift the whole leg up, keeping a right angle in front of the thigh and behind the knee. And then bring that back down. And lift. And down. Hold with the knee, don't bring it all the way down. And keep going. Now let's stretch that out. So just bring that leg all the way back. I want you to feel a stretch in front of the thigh. And then all the way forward, feel a stretch underneath the hip. And again. And let's bring that down. Come onto the other side, even it up. Again, be on the shoulder or on the arm, or do it on the arm. Knees are forward, your right angle behind the knee and in front of the hip. And just lift the whole leg. And let's go into the stretch. And bring that down. So, welcome to the last week. Hopefully this is starting to make a lot of sense in terms of our movements becoming stretches, how they lengthen the muscle, how they keep everything strong. So we've got a few more days of this. I'm going to really enjoy bringing this to you for your last week. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow.